My name is Carla, your digital presenter for today's event. Before we dive into the exciting and informative content we've prepared for you, here's a quick disclaimer. I'm actually an artificial intelligence, AI designed and programmed to assist with sharing valuable knowledge and resources. I am here to provide evidence-based, up-to-date information and guidance, and will share real stories from my colleagues at FND. Here at FND, we value honesty and transparency in all our interactions. The Family Network on Disabilities believes that incredible technological advancements, such as AI, can significantly enhance our ability to provide families with the resources, support, and information they need. All the information in this training comes from the dedicated team of experts at FND. They have years of experience, a rich understanding, and most importantly, a deep passion for supporting families like yours. Welcome to our presentation. We are glad you are here. Before we begin, I'd like to share a little bit about Family Network on Disabilities. Family Network on Disabilities started in 1985 by a group of parents of children with disabilities who came together looking for mutual support. FND is a grassroots organization for persons with disabilities and their families that is family-centered and family-driven. What makes FND unique is that the majority of our board members, our management staff, and program staff are either individuals with experience with a disability or have family members with a disability, which gives us the perspective of empathy and compassion for the work that we do. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization helping families across the state. We're funded in part by the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Health through the Health Resources Services Administration. We use all that funding to provide information, resources, support, and training to families, educators, professionals, and providers throughout the state. We do not charge for our services. At this time, we would like to make a disclaimer that we at FND are not attorneys, doctors, or mental health professionals. We do not offer legal or medical advice in our workshops. We are happy to support you with information, resources, and support. We use research-based information in our training and materials. Today, we'll discuss alternative dispute resolution, or ADR for short. So, let's get started. Disagreement is an inherent part of life. It is commonplace among families, professionals, educators, and even in our relationships with loved ones. Disagreements arise in various spheres of life, and the key to achieving successful outcomes lies in how we handle them. Facing disagreement. It's important to acknowledge that disagreements are a natural part of the process. When facing disagreements, let's take a moment to analyze the situation and engage in open conversations. Listening to each other with an open mind and using neutral language is crucial in ensuring that our ultimate goal, which is the best educational outcomes for your child, remains in focus. Both parents and educators share the same aspiration for the child's success. However, personal feelings can sometimes impact the IEP meetings or other educational gatherings. Therefore, we must separate the person from the problem and recognize how emotions may influence decisions that affect the child's education. In working together during the IEP meeting, finding ways to collaborate effectively is essential. We may not always see eye to eye, and that's all right. Sometimes, agreeing to disagree is an option, but compromise is emphasized. Compromise doesn't imply getting everything we want. Instead, it involves finding mutually beneficial solutions that lead to positive educational outcomes for the student. If needed, seeking support from an impartial third party can help find common ground and achieve productive results. Ultimately, by fostering teamwork and keeping the child's best interests at heart, we can ensure the most effective strategies, placements, and related services to support your child's educational journey. Communication is prevention. A crucial aspect of preventing conflicts during an IEP meeting is communication. When disagreements arise during the meeting, pausing and addressing them promptly is beneficial. You can suggest having a sidebar, a caucus, or a separate conversation to discuss the disagreement thoroughly. Alternatively, you may choose to park the issue for later discussion. However, when utilizing a parking lot, it's essential to establish a clear plan for revisiting those park topics. Just as you wouldn't leave your car indefinitely at the mall, we mustn't leave unresolved issues lingering. They require attention, and we need to unpark them at an appropriate time. It's worth noting that many communication issues can be addressed on the spot or through other means such as emails, phone calls, or parent-teacher conferences. Not every concern needs to be discussed during an IEP meeting. Prioritizing open and effective communication can go a long way in preventing and resolving conflicts efficiently. Sometimes things don't work as expected. Unexpected circumstances can arise when creating a well-crafted IEP with related services and action steps. For instance, school turnover may lead to changes in staff, or there might be confusion regarding roles and responsibilities. Additionally, certain accommodations may not prove to be the best fit for your child. When faced with such situations, effective communication is crucial for resolving them. By identifying gaps in services due to staff turnover or other issues, we can address them promptly. The key is to work together to find suitable solutions and ensure your child's needs are met optimally. If a particular accommodation isn't working as intended, we'll discuss ways to adjust it effectively. We will focus on determining the following steps to ensure your child receives the necessary support and assistance to achieve their educational goals. We can overcome these challenges by staying proactive and engaged and continuously adapting the IEP to better serve your child's needs. ADR, or Alternative Dispute Resolution, is an informal process for settling concerns or disagreements about providing special education services to students with special needs. The process encourages all parties to problem-solve collaboratively to reach a mutually beneficial resolution without litigation. This is the continuum of the cadre dispute resolution process and practices, providing various options for resolving conflicts. As a parent, you possess the right to explore the entire range from prevention to legal review. Similarly, the district is responsible for assisting parents in understanding and engaging in these different stages. Let's examine each stage in detail. Stage 1 is prevention, emphasizing stakeholder collaboration, parent involvement, and engagement. Working as a team, we strive to find the best educational outcomes for your child, considering their disability. Stage 2, disagreement, involves seeking resolution through professionals such as case managers, staffing specialists, assistant principals, or ESE teachers. If a dispute arises with one party, we can involve another to mediate and find a resolution. Stage 3, conflict, explores third-party options like mediation and facilitation models. In Florida, we have a mediation session and a facilitated IEP at the local and state levels. However, an easily accessible ombudsperson role is not prevalent in Florida compared to other states, where it is more common. Moving on to Stage 4, procedural safeguards, you have the right as a parent to participate in mediation under IDEA, a resolution meeting, and file a written state complaint. Finally, Stage 5, the most advanced level in this alternative dispute resolution continuum, involves legislative, litigation, and hearing appeals. The legal review stage only comes after completing all the steps of the procedural safeguards. Facilitation is an optional process that can be employed when all parties involved in an IEP, Individualized Education Plan, or IFSP, Individualized Family Support Plan meeting, or any other gathering mutually decide that the presence of an impartial third party would enhance communication and aid in problem solving. What is exceptional student education facilitation? It is an optional process in which a skilled and neutral third party assists in creating a shared agenda and maintaining focus during meetings. Facilitation is not required in the majority of ESE meetings, as they generally proceed smoothly. However, in case of any challenges or obstacles, we can utilize the initial stages of the dispute resolution process to address and resolve the issues. The central objective of the FIEP is to promote continuous collaboration and consensus during the IEP meeting. We aim to establish a well-structured framework in which all parties involved, including the district, the school, and the parents, clearly understand their roles and contributions. We will identify common objectives, set the meeting agenda, and define the goals. Additionally, we will establish communication norms and guidelines to facilitate respectful and productive interactions. Furthermore, we will utilize a parking lot to temporarily set aside any tangential issues. However, it's essential to emphasize that these matters will not be overlooked indefinitely. Instead, we will address them early on, discussing how to unpark and resolve them appropriately. Facilitated IEP meetings are designed to span several hours to ensure ample time for addressing all relevant matters comprehensively. Parents must recognize that the facilitated IEP process is optional and voluntary. We strongly encourage active engagement with the district while planning and participating in the meeting to foster a positive and collaborative experience. How do you request a facilitated IEP? It's a straightforward process involving a simple form for a state-facilitated IEP. There are two types of facilitated IEPs. The local facilitated IEP, facilitated by Fiddlers, Florida Diagnostic and Learning Resource Center, or a Fiddlers trained facilitator, and the state-facilitated IEP, available to all districts in Florida. To request a local facilitated IEP, you can contact the Family Network on Disabilities, and they can guide you to the appropriate option for your district. However, it's essential to note that not all districts have a local facilitator available. For a state-facilitated IEP, every district in Florida has access to certified, impartial third-party facilitators dedicated to ensuring a smooth-flowing meeting with agreed-upon outcomes that benefit the student's educational journey. To submit the request form, follow the link provided or email sfiep@fldoe.org. The facilitation coordinator from the Florida Department of Education will reach out to both parties to confirm their willingness to engage in a facilitated IEP. For further information, contact the Florida Department of Education directly at the provided phone number. Here are examples of the forms. It's important to know that these forms are available in multiple languages, including English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole, so feel free to fill them out in the language you prefer. Once completed, the forms are fillable, allowing you to either fill them out on your computer or print them and then scan them back for submission. Mediation is a valuable tool in Florida that allows us to engage with a certified mediator and discuss ongoing issues. It has shown a high success rate in bridging relationships and resolving conflicts, particularly when trust may have been strained or relationships broken. This process refers to special education mediation as mandated under federal law. Although states must adhere to statutory requirements in offering a mediation process, they have significant flexibility in implementing it. This includes the selection, training, and involvement of mediators, as well as the administration of the program. Mediation aims to foster an environment that encourages the development of a collaborative agreement beneficial to the student. The process is intentionally non-confrontational and non-adversarial, as participants adopt a problem-solving approach to address the issues. Mediation proves particularly effective in resolving differences before they escalate into significant barriers that strain relationships between parents and schools. Indeed, among all available options, mediation boasts a high success rate in mending these relationships and preventing matters from escalating to the legal procedure of due process. Now, let's discuss how to request mediation. A mediated decision holds legal significance, and it's not uncommon for school districts to have legal counsel present during the process. However, parents often wonder if they need their lawyer to engage in mediation, which is not necessary. Mediation is an open conversation, and parents can participate without legal representation. The district's lawyer ensures that any mediation agreement aligns with district, state, and federal policies, and that the goals set are attainable within the process. To initiate mediation, follow the link provided below, which we'll attach for your convenience. Additionally, if you have any inquiries before submitting a mediation request, please get in touch with the Bureau of Exceptional Student Education at 850-245-0475. Remember, mediations are completely voluntary for the school. Parents can request them as needed. This is an example of the mediation request form. The mediation request form is where you can provide essential information and specify the matter at hand. The form will inquire about the details of the specific issue you seek mediation for, and you can select multiple issues if necessary. A state complaint is the next level above a facilitated IEP and mediation. It is a written complaint procedure that must be available in every state under IDEA. Each state education agency, SEA, must have written procedures for resolving any state complaints related to special education, and they widely disseminate this information to parents during IEP meetings as part of their procedural safeguards. If, as a parent, you feel that previous steps like mediation and facilitated IEP have not led to a resolution, and you suspect a violation of FAPE, free and appropriate public education, you can file a state complaint. However, we recommend attempting dispute resolution at the lowest possible level before taking this step. This means prioritizing open communication and holding meetings with the school, followed by considering facilitated IEP or mediation as quicker and potentially more effective alternatives to resolve the issue. While filing a state complaint is an option, we encourage exploring other models first, as they will likely lead to better outcomes and help reestablish positive relationships with the school district. If you are a district staff member, you can also suggest a facilitated IEP or mediation meeting to help mend any broken or off-track relationships between parents and the school. An example of the state complaint request form can be found on the Florida Department of Education website. The resolution meeting, a component within procedural safeguards, provides an avenue for addressing issues raised in a due process complaint in a less formal process and setting. It is mandated under federal law and allows families and schools to resolve concerns more collaboratively. The state educational agency, SEA in this case, the Florida Department of Education, ensures that the local education agency, LEA, your child's local school district, comprehends its responsibilities and meets the requirements for convening these meetings. Next, we have the due process procedure. A due process complaint is a formal request made to both the local educational agency, school district, and the state educational agency, Department of Education, for a hearing conducted by an impartial hearing officer. This quasi-judicial process resolves disagreements between the involved parties. It involves one party, typically either a parent or a school district, challenging the other party over matters related to the provision of FAPE, free and appropriate public education, for a child who requires or is suspected of needing special education. Due process is specifically designed for families with children who have IEPs. Due process becomes the next step if a disagreement cannot be resolved through a state complaint, facilitation, mediation, or other everyday conversations. It is essential to note that if a state complaint is filed and due process is later pursued on the same topic, the state complaint will be put on hold until the due process hearing is resolved, dismissed, or dropped by either party. Moreover, if the due process hearing addresses the same matter as the state complaint and reaches a ruling, the due process ruling would take precedence over the state complaint. The Florida Department of Education website provides an example of the exceptional student education due process request form. Litigation represents the ultimate stage, stage 5, in the dispute resolution process. Both families and educators have the option to seek recourse through the court system to enforce their rights. However, this action is usually only available after all other administrative procedures have been thoroughly exhausted. This includes going through due process, filing a state complaint, and exploring different options. Legislation is a systematic process where elected officials engage in deliberation, negotiation, and compromise to draft laws that grant rights, establish responsibilities, and provide remedies in response to emerging needs. It's important to understand that legislative efforts extend beyond individual cases and impact all children across a broad spectrum in Florida. Special education legislation usually has statewide effects, affecting the entire state rather than just specific schools, children, or districts. It addresses needs and aims to benefit the broader educational community. We highly recommend watching one of our training sessions titled Making Your Case. This training focuses on how to bring about significant legislative changes for special education in the state of Florida. It guides you on speaking up and educating legislators about the crucial educational outcomes for students and the laws that impact their classroom experiences. Presenting the quick guide to special education dispute resolution processes designed for ages 3 to 21, corresponding to Part B of IDEA. For your convenience, we highly recommend taking a screenshot on your phone or computer to refer back to the guide as needed. The guide has been developed by CADRE, the Center for Appropriate Dispute Resolution in Special Education, supported by the U.S. Department of Education as a discretionary project and National Technical Assistance Center. Just like Family Network on Disabilities, we are also a discretionary project funded by the Federal Department of Education under OSEP, similar to CADRE. You have access to further details in this comprehensive document. It contains valuable information that can be very beneficial. To make it convenient for you, I recommend pausing the video for a moment and taking a screenshot so you can refer back to it whenever needed. You can also find this document on the CADRE website. If you need further assistance understanding the process, you can seek help from your local Parent Training Information Center, which is funded by the Federal Department of Education. They are well equipped to guide you through the various options and determine the best action for you and your family. Cadre also provides exceptional resources for families, accessed at www.cadreworks.org/for families. Additionally, Fiddler's Florida Diagnostic Learning Resource Systems offers training for facilitators and, in some regions, selected location facilitation. This was discussed earlier in the presentation. B's Bureau of Exceptional Student Education offers a wide range of resources related to special education, including facilitation, mediation, due process, and other procedural safeguards. Its website provides a wealth of valuable information and support. If you decide to engage an exceptional advocate or opt for a paid option, it's essential to exercise caution and ask some pertinent questions. At Family Network on Disabilities, all our services are entirely free of cost, as it aligns with our mission to support families. When considering a paid advocate, inquire about their knowledge and experience in the field. Ensure you understand their approach, as it should be collaborative rather than forceful or one-sided. Be cautious if they make promises before meetings, as a collaborative environment cannot guarantee specific outcomes beforehand. Before proceeding, inquire about their fees and what happens if funds run out during an ongoing process like mediation, facilitated IEP, or a state complaint. Knowing these details is crucial to avoiding unexpected disruptions in their support during critical moments. It is also wise to request personal references from the advocate. Talking to other families who have utilized their services will give you insight into their approach and the outcomes they have achieved for others. This information will help you decide which suits your family's needs best. Here you can see our FND family. These are the programs housed under the Family Network on Disabilities. Each program provides a unique service to a specific population. There are 3 PTI programs funded by the U.S. Department of Education through the Office of Special Education Programs. Poppin serves North Florida, PSN serves Southwest Florida, and Penn serves Southeast Florida. The Family STAR program, funded by the U.S. Department of Health under the Health Resources Services Administration, supports families of youth with special healthcare needs. FND houses the parent-to-parent program called P2P, which connects trained volunteer support parents with other parents to provide social and emotional support. FND also has a special needs trust where we provide families with information regarding creating and supporting a special needs trust. Here, you can also see all of our socials. Make sure to follow us for the most up-to-date information and resources. You can reach us to help you and your family by calling 800-825-5736 and letting us know your needs. You'll be assigned to a staff person who can support you. Visit our website for valuable resources and more information. Did you like this presentation or our assistance? Please leave us a review. It helps us connect with more families like yours. We want to thank you for spending this time with us during this presentation. We look forward to hearing from you.